But what's been volatile is, of course, what's happening across the world in terms of crude prices as well. Vandana Hari joins us to talk to us about just that. Vandana, hi, good to be speaking with you. We woke up to these headlines of, escalated tensions in Western Asia, caused a bit of a spike in crude prices, but it's come off a bit as well. Where do you see it headed now?
Good morning. Indeed, the markets woke up to a bit of a shock and I would say confusion as well. So we have seen news reports, quite a few coming from various organizations in the Middle East, some from the US as well, talking about explosions in Isfahan in Iran and in certain locations in Iraq and Syria as well. There's been no official word or confirmation as such that these were Israeli strikes. So, not surprisingly, the knee-jerk reaction of crude was to start spiraling up because, the question is that, is this the much feared and dreaded tipping point which leads to an all-out war between Israel and Iran and perhaps, wider conflagration in the Middle East. But again, I would say at this point, there's a great deal of a lot of details are missing. Official confirmations are missing. There's not much detail and quite a lot of uncertainty. So all that we can expect in the coming hours is a lot of the new fear premium that has crept into crude will more or less remain intact, but expect even heightened volatility.
Heightened volatility is what we are bracing ourselves for. But Vandana, two-part question. What are the chances you believe that crude can inch higher to $100 per barrel if tensions do escalate a bit? And apart from these escalations as well, what's your own outlook in terms of what could be the average for the year per se of crude prices? Will it continue to be between 85 to 90? Do you see it on an average basis to be higher or lower?
So right now there's mixed signals really. If of course crude needs to react to especially to any shocking developments that show an escalation of tensions, but there's mixed signals, I say, because there's two things happening in parallel. So definitely there's been heightened conflict between Iran and Israel. We know that over the past fortnight, and quite a bit of rhetoric being exchanged between the two countries, even though the US has been trying very, very hard to sort of dampen down the tensions. And at the same time, we see a major diplomatic push. So we have US and its allies in Europe leaning even more heavily on Israel. A lot of all the Arab neighbors of Iran are leaning heavily on Tehran. Basically, all these powers want to diffuse and de-escalate the situation. So now really the question is, which one of these forces wins over? And separate to that is that do we see perhaps a much worsening of the situation before it starts to calm down? So that's going to be the dilemma. But in the background, we have the Gaza war is continuing to fester, as is the Ukraine war. So I don't expect the risk premium in crude, close to $12 to $15 at this point in my reckoning. I don't expect that to sort of dissolve very quickly anytime soon. Which makes it harder to really answer your second question about what is the outlook for the rest of this year. I think it really hinges on US's ability to de-escalate the situation in the Middle East, and then, of course, then perhaps go to tackling what's happening with Ukraine and Russia. Even there, things seem to be slipping out of America's control because Ukraine has been firing drones into Russian refineries and energy infrastructure, disregarding US entreaties not to do so. So big question mark over these two ongoing wars and the risk premium in crude.
Appreciate your insights. Thanks so much then, Vandana, for giving us a view on what the geopolitical concerns presently mean for crude oil prices.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.